Hi everyone, Comic Viewer here, this time doing another series of Back to the Pilot. So I pretty much did Steven Universe, so I wanted to tackle Over the Garden Wall that I reviewed over a month ago. And what's actually interesting is that back in 2013, September the 9th, during the Los Angeles Short Film Festival thing, we had the pilot back in 2013 that was written, storyboarded, and directed by Patrick McHale. And pretty much the pilot of Tomb of the Unknown, Harvest Melody, was completely different. So pretty much in the piloted version, you still had Whit's voice actress and Gregory's one. And what's interesting is Beatrice's voice actress wasn't meant to be the one for the miniseries, but instead was meant to be voiced by Natasha Leggio. And yeah, this would be later on in the miniseries. Melanie Yonsky would later go on to voice Beatrice in the pilot. So pretty much there was a difference mainly in the pilot that the show is mostly narrated by an unknown person and is pretty much meant to sort of tell you what the story is, and it kind of feels like hearing Sam Elliott telling you the story. And it pretty much features Whit, Gregory, and Beatrice basically trying to find something called the Tomb of the Unknown. And it's heavily implied the story was originally going to be something almost like The Wizard of Oz, or a kind of like Never-Ending Story or Narnia story, meaning it was going to be something different before getting greenlit. And the story is simply straightforward. We see how the two brothers and Beatrice end up finding a car made out of vegetables. We also are introduced to the car's owner, who is made from vegetables, voiced by C.W. Stonkin, and we see them ending up going to a sort of like festival, sort of vegetable city, and this is where the plot does kind of follow almost like the mini-series. And yeah, it's pretty much simply straightforward. And there's a lot of things that sort of implied that the pilot was going to have some different things. For example, it's kind of heavily implied that Beatrice wasn't meant to be a human turned into a bluebird, instead would have been one of the residents from the unknown who's actually a bird but can talk. So in other words, she would have just been something like one of the characters coming into the series, like the Tin Man or the Lion. And pretty much you can tell they still keep the pilot almost similar to the miniseries. And yeah, this was before the miniseries got greenlit. So you can kind of tell that they really do put a lot of effort into sort of giving you what the pilot is before the miniseries. And I still think the narrator does a good job. And you can actually tell the narrator does put a lot of effort in telling you the story. And I think it's a shame that we didn't really get the narrator anymore, because I think the narrator does do a lot of good job in presenting the story, and this sort of implyment that the story was going to be something much different. So yeah, pilots tend to alter things. And what's actually interesting, during the ending scene of The Unknown, you do see a character known as Lorna reading a book titled Tomb of the Unknown. So, other words, giving you that end thing saying, this is the end of the miniseries, we're giving you an Easter egg. And I would say the pilot is definitely good. It has some early ideas and employments that it was going to be different meaning that the Beast wasn't going to exist, meaning the story was going to be something similar to Narnia or the Neverending Story or the Wizard of Oz. But I'm just glad they finally found their roots when they finally did the miniseries. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. It's good, it's straightforward, but you know what it is. Comic Reviewer here, signing out.